I am my ancestors' wildest dream. It's like, so then I'm fulfilling their dream, but where's my dream? Am I fulfilling my dream? Do my ancestors want me to dream my dream? Is their wildest dream for me to dream my dream? How I know what they was dreaming in the first place?
Welcome to Conversations with the Ancestors, where we connect to ancestral wisdom, cosmic insight, and healing rituals to redeem and liberate our souls. You're here because your higher self and your ancestors brought you here. So get your tea or coffee, take a breath, and settle in because, baby, this is for you.
What is up, divine beings? Welcome to the first ever episode of Conversations with the Ancestors. And honestly, it's not even really the first episode because time is an illusion. And I'm pretty sure that y'all have been having conversations with your ancestors before you got here. And I know I've been having conversations with the ancestors before I got here too. So really, this is like, we're just coming back together, like in a different way. We're connecting deeper to one another as we all just keep having conversations with our ancestors. And I'm so happy you're here. I am Robin Denise, your favorite globe-trotting guru and spiritual baddie. And you have entered into the sacred space of conversations with the ancestors. You heard the intro. We are here to connect with the ancestors, blend and bring in ancestral wisdom, rituals, ceremony, love, heart, and all the while healing ourselves and healing our connection to our lineage, not just the past, but also the future. So, welcome to this sacred space. And I want us to begin with how the ancestors even brought me here to start talking to y'all, first of all, okay? Like, how did this happen? Because this is really not even just a question for you as an audience, but it's really a journal question, a journeying question, which is, how did you get to where you are right now? What forces, seen and unseen, ancestral hands that held you and guided you, and angels that came and ushered you into the place that you are right now? That's really the story of this first episode, is how I got here. And it really starts with the question of, what are you dreaming? What are we dreaming together? I feel like we always hear that thought of we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. And in one respect, it can make you feel like, well, I'll speak for me. In one respect, when I'm thinking about that phrase, I am my ancestors' wildest dream, it's like, so then I'm fulfilling their dream, but where's my dream? Am I fulfilling my dream? Do my ancestors want me to dream my dream? Is their wildest dream for me to dream my dream? How I know what they was dreaming in the first place? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, what is this paradox that we're creating? And really, I'm going to take it an even step further, is, if I am my ancestors' wildest dream, and I know that my ancestors are me, epigenetics has said that our DNA, we have pieces of our DNA spanning back 259 years. So literally, we are made up of our ancestors. And, a dash of a mama, a dash of a daddy, a dash of the test tube, whatever it was, it's a dash of something, and then it makes us. So If I am my ancestors' wildest dream and my ancestors are me, then I am my wildest dream. Oh!
This is for you. This is for you. This is for you. Ancestors, it's for you. This is for you, for you, for you, for you.
Say the name when no one. Wait, what am I gonna say? Say the name. We do it to remember those who came before us. So baby, say the name, say the name, say the name. We do it to remember all those who came before us. You better say their name. This is one of my favorite parts of the podcast because it is where we say the name of the ancestor that we are invoking and calling in, wanting to support us as we discuss. And today's ancestor that we are calling in is Polly Murray. So let me tell you something. I just said at the beginning, I am the globe-trotting spiritual baddie, right? And globe-trotting because I be all over the globe, not just in the Americas, but in Paris, Thailand, right? And so I wanted to make sure that every land that I land on, I do some research on an ancestor that we can bring and talk about and ask for them to be in the discussion for the episode. And today I am in Boone, North Carolina. And so Polly Murray, I'm going to read it because I don't want to fuck it up. But Polly Murray was born in Durham, North Carolina in 1910. And their life was one of boundary-breaking brilliance. When I say they were brilliant, they were brilliant. They were a lawyer, a priest, a poet, a freedom fighter whose voice shifted an entire nation. And I'm wanting to call on ancestor Polly Murray from Durham, North Carolina, because I identify as she, her, they, them, depending on what time of the day, or not even the time of day. Really, it depends on where I am spiritually, what pronoun moves with me in that time. And Polly Murray was an advocate for they, thems. There was quoted many times that Polly often wrote actually in their diaries and in letters to friends about feeling a conflict between their assigned sex at birth and their inner sense of self and who they were internally. They many times described themselves as having a boy-girl personality. So far to the fact that in the 1930s, they were wearing trousers and shirts and hats and cut their hair short, which was super not a part of the norm in that time for people who are assigned female at birth. And I really resonate with this ancestor because they were a radical example of being authentic in a time when it was not the norm, you know? They identified as transgender and non-binary. This is that ancestor from this land that really connects with me. And as they wrestled with identity, at again a time when the language and the resources just didn't even exist to fully support them, I believe, they asked themselves the questions of, how do I live my dream? How do I live my truth? And how do I do that while bringing wholeness into the service of my people and my community? And that's what I think, going back to that quote of, I'm my ancestors' wildest dream, and recognizing that they live within me, I am them, so then the dream that they dreamed is also my dream, and my dream is now their dream, and it's just this reciprocal. But it's also about calling in the ancestors that give you the courage to be bold enough to dream your dream. And what is your dream? We're talking about how I got here, how I got to do and start this podcast, Conversations with the Ancestors. And it's because I was having conversations with my ancestors and they was telling me straight up, baby girl, you dreaming other people's dream. You're pouring in to other people's dream. You are being a side character in a movie that's supposed to be starring you. How many of y'all, I know I'm not the only one who's done it. If you have had that time where you were just pouring into other people's dream, making it your dream, resonating with it, and it's not saying that their dreams are bad. It's not saying that you giving a helping hand was incorrect. What I'm saying is at some point, the ancestors want you to be fulfilling your dream. They want you to be pouring into your dream. So how are you doing that? How are the people in your circle supporting you to pour into your dream? And they're not seeing it as competition. They're not seeing it as this person is changing and I don't want to be with them. The ancestors are saying, baby, dream your dream because that's what we want for you. Your dream is the dream that we want. So be your wildest dream. Can we do that? Can we make the pact to be each other's wildest dream and support one another as we do it? Not asking someone to be our side character, but recognizing that they are a fucking star too, and so are we, and we can both just shine bright the way the ancestors want us to, the way the angels want us to. You know what I mean? That's what this is about. That's why we're having conversations with the ancestors, because they're here to support you and me fulfilling our wildest dreams and grounding into that and knowing that there's no shame in following your passion. There's no shame in showing up in your authenticity. It is desired. It is the thing that your ancestors most wanted because it's what you want. Don't you want to live your dream? Don't you want to live your passion? Don't you want to do that? So how do you do that? One of the ways that I want to encourage you to do it, because I just did it. I'm going to tell you, I'm only speaking from my experience and what has been downloaded to me. The way I did it was accepting that I got my own dreams, was accepting that I'm main character energy. You a main character. You are a main character. One more time for the back, Robin Denise. You are a main character. Please accept that. It's time for you to accept that. And when you accept that, then you start to see all the ways that your light has been dimming to allow somebody else to shine. So recognize you main character energy, boo. Call in the fierce Leo energy. Call in the roars, okay? You main character energy. The next thing I had to do was talk to my inner child. Right? You didn't see that coming. Your inner child is the one who knows it all. Like when your inner child came into this life, do you remember how easy life was? How you knew exactly what you wanted to do. You knew what foods you liked and didn't like. You knew what people you liked and didn't like. You knew. And throughout the course of life, somewhere around there, things shifted, things changed, programming set in, insecurities set in, experiences happened that pushed us to examine life in a different way. And now I believe you are at the point where you can tap back into your inner child and say, hey, what was that thing we liked to do? Was it skip rocks? Why did I like rocks in per se? Oh, maybe I like stones. Maybe I like crystals. Oh, maybe I want to make jewelry. Inner child, how does that feel for you? What do you think? Really tap back in to who you were as a child. Take an inner child play date And this is the part of the session where we get into the sacred expression, the empowered legacy. So, how are we empowering one another to move forward? And I just want to make sure you understand this is the sacred work, boo. You didn't come to this podcast just to kiki with me, even though I love it when you kiki with me. Don't stop doing it. I'm just saying, you came for the work. You came for the work, 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 da ba 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 work, 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 work. I don't know all the words, but I'ma sing the song like this, 'cause we came to work, 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 work. So we came to work. The sacred expression is the inner child play date. The way you do this is you just decide one day, one morning, one afternoon, set out an hour or two, or however long your schedule allows. It could literally be 5 to 15 minutes, but make it attainable for you. You set out this time for yourself, and just with intention, maybe closing your eyes, feeling comfortable and safe, intentionally call in your inner child and say, hey, little me, or whatever you call your inner child. Let's have a play date. I invite you to tell me what you want to do, where you want to go. It's all you, boo. This is your chance. And whatever you want to do, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to tell you, with not the first time, but there's been a couple of times that I've done this with my inner child, and it led me to get a pair of inline rollerblade skates. That's what it's called. Inline roller skates. When I was in Australia, I was in Australia for like 3 months, and I said, hey, inner child, what you want to do? And all it was like, I want to go roller skate. That was a real deep passion of mine when I was younger, just wanting to roller skate outside, inside, like just that movement and feeling the wind and being able to just like glide. There was something about the gliding motion that really appeased my inner child. And so in Australia, I found me a store that's kind of like a REI in the US. And I went there and I bought me some skates. And then went to some random like park and just started skating around. And I'm so sure people were looking at me like, who in the world is this out here on these random skates? Child, I found me a Facebook group of people who were skating in Melbourne, and I took it so seriously, but me and my inner child had a blast. And the amount of creativity that happened after I had these inner child play dates skyrocketed. My inner child had me going to playgrounds and hopping on the swings and just swinging. I did this when kids weren't there, so I wouldn't I'm not trying to be a creep, but you know what I mean? Like, I went to the playground in the middle of the day and just had my own Denise playground time. And so there's another thing that you guys can look forward to, something called Ancestor Diaries that I will be putting out sometime before the end of 2025 on YouTube. And it is my video blog of me and my travels across the world. And so you will see the inner child play dates of me on some roller skates, trying to remember how to rollerblade, because when I tell you I hadn't put on a pair of skates in 25 years-ish, give or take, 20 to 25 years. It's been a long time. So, your divine being had to figure out how to maneuver on this thing. All that to say, inner child play dates will lead you somewhere, but the where that they lead you is to rediscovering you, rediscovering your passions, rediscovering what your true dream is so that you can make sure that your adult self is walking in that dream. Become truly your ancestors' wildest dream. That's why I'm doing this podcast. Because one of my wildest dreams was to do this, like to talk, to share the knowledge that I receive from ancestors, to share my testimonies, to support other divine beings who are on their journey with tools, because I felt like I didn't have all of the tools. A lot of things I just learned over the course of time, and that was my process. But that doesn't have to be everybody's process. This podcast can be a part of your process, so you know that you're not alone, so you know that you're not the first one who's feeling this way, so you know that your ancestors are hearing you and providing you what you need to fucking thrive, okay? I'm done with surviving. It is time for us to thrive, and the ancestors got things to help us do that. So I got to this podcast because my ancestors sat me down one day and said, Robin Denise, are you living your dream? And honestly, at that time, the answer was no.
Conversations with the Ancestors is produced and edited by Robin Denise. Theme song For You, co-written and co-performed by Robin Denise. Join us in connecting to the ancestors by rating, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to Conversations with the Ancestors on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can get deeper with your ancestors and support this work by joining the community at robindenise.com. There you'll find free resources for download and online courses to help you pull on your ancestral wisdom and the abundance they have for you. Once again, that's robindenise.com.